What's up, mortgage coach community? Dave Savage. I am interviewing a top real estate agent out of Atlanta, Georgia, Mark McMinn. What's up, Mark?
What's going on, Dave? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. I
Good.
am so appreciative of Kevin Kaufman for introducing us. So shout out to Kevin Kaufman.
Shout out to Kevin Kaufman. If you want to have a laugh, like I'm at Keller Williams, go look at his profile picture right now, and we can all laugh at the Kevin Hard trolling. It's on point. I'm gonna give him an A+ for his trolling game. So I'm gonna tease that out.
What's the Google search or the Facebook search so we can have a little fun at his
Go hop on Facebook, search Kevin Kaufman. He's with eXp Realty out in Phoenix. And you got to kind of do your homework on Kevin, but you're going to see it. You're automatically going to know what I'm talking about. It's
all right. Well, let's just guys go do that. Todd Bookspan brought Kevin into a few masterminds. I've run into Kevin on the road, like in random places. So it was just like a God thing.
Sounds about right.
We need to be friends. I'm in San Diego. What's up, Kevin? You know, so he's my bro now, and
he's the man, dude. I love him. I love him.
We were both nerds. You know, we're talking about Aura rings and
He's talking about fasting, talking about Joe Rogan, telling me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just all kinds of stuff, man.
He's awesome. By the way, he has an incredible podcast. Check it out. We'll put a link down below.
That's right.
So here's the backstory on this interview, guys, in the community. We were blowing up. I mean, let's face it, Mortgage Coach is doing great things. More great loan officers are using us than ever before. But I really feel like we're on the brink of this social change, how people get into debt in America. So I have decided we need to bring in more realtors. We've brought in a lot of great real estate agents into the Mortgage Coach community. But every month, I'm looking for great agents to interview. They got to be ballers. They've got to be what I would call a modern real estate professional. Like, we're teaching you how to be modern real estate professionals. And so Kevin, you know, I said, hey, who should I talk to? And you were at the top of the list. So let's get after it.
Really kind of him, man. Let's jump in.
Yeah. So tell you're talking to America's best loan officers who follows this channel. How would you describe your real estate practice?
I jumped in 2017. Excuse me. Before that, I was in the nonprofit space. I've always loved real estate, bought my first house when I was in college, was introduced to house hacking during that, renting out rooms and realizing, man, I can play this game. Like, living for free sounds pretty sweet. And that really began the ball rolling even while I was working my salaried, nonprofit job, till eventually it just came to a place of saying, man, I just love this so much. I want to be doing this professionally. This is a love language and it's a strength. And so I'm going to chase after it. So 2017, I jumped in full time as a realtor. 3 months, nothing at all.
Before you do that, you said House Happy. And I know the House Happy platform. Like, I didn't connect
House hacking.
Oh, house hacking. Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking like bigger pockets. Yeah, man. House hacking. And so was renting out rooms and, man, not paying a mortgage, not paying utilities because my buddies are paying it, renting rooms. And so that kind of opened up the love of real estate for me. But 2017, jumped in, nothing for 3 months. Got my first client after me and just hawking it on the phones, chasing people for all they were worth. And, man, I found I was really, really good at taking one and turning one into three and leveraging those relationships and their sphere of influence to really merge myself in not only to their transaction, but really into their lives. And since then, that's really kind of been the obsession for us, is how do we add so much value that it almost creates a sense of indebtedness from the people that we are serving, to the point where when they're going to do something, they almost have to tell me no, because I've given so much to the process. I've helped them in so many different ways that I at least get invited to the table. I definitely do not get pushed out before the process starts.
I love it. So what kind of volume are you doing, just so we get an idea?
Yep, we'll do about 20 million this year, myself and two other agents.
How many transactions?
95-ish. We'll be right in that bucket.
So takeaway right there, guys. In 3 years, fresh to the space, killing it. That's a story all in itself. And I know when you and I had our prep call, Kevin connected us, we talked, and I was just hearing you talk, and you started talking about how you're using video, how you're using Facebook,
Definitely,
how you have just out of nowhere built your personal brand so that you're a player. Why don't you walk us through that a little bit and describe it?
cool. So a name I want everyone to latch on to if you haven't already, and I'm sure a lot of you have. You're sharp, you're rock stars, but is John Cheplack. John Cheplack was the gateway drug for me when it came to great marketing, but specifically in the arena of video. And when I heard John first talk about it, he would almost pull you in talking about a sitcom that you loved. Like, think about the show Friends. Okay, my wife and I, we can binge watch our way through Friends. And frankly, we can tell you this episode's coming next and here's the line, and we're still going to laugh at it. But we finish that show and like we're at the point of tears every time the show ends because we fall in love with the characters all over again, even though we can restart the episode right then and there. And that's actually what video does. Your brain literally cannot distinguish in between Mark McMinn is a real person sitting beside me and I am friends with Mark versus Ross or Rachel are on the TV. Your brain thinks they're just as much friends as Mark is sitting beside you. And so if you, as a loan officer, as someone on your end of the industry, can constantly bring value, be yourself, be the best version of yourself, and exercise that muscle of being in front of a camera, it allows you to leverage yourself exponentially faster than you ever could otherwise, because you can create content that is not only viewed in a live format, but over 80% of video is seen through replay. And so you're creating a piece of content that is going to live for a really, really long time that people are going to access and engage with and ultimately get value from. So that's the heart behind video for me.
Okay, well, we're going to unpack tactics, strategies, specifically what you're doing. We've been advocating video for a lot of years. We've actually built it into our platform so that when a loan officer creates options, like purchase options, they can like, hey, here's your numbers, and they can put a video on it. So it's all in one platform. And I know you're going to love that. But walk us through, because I've been advocating a lot that loan officers and realtors should be interviewing local influencers.
All day.
It could be whoever the restaurants are that are most active on Facebook, whoever the local, you tell me. So are you doing interviews? Is that a big strategy?
So context within this of why. I think the why is always massively important. Seth Godin wrote a book called Purple Cow. Purple Cow, the name of the book. And one of the huge takeaways is in your life, you and I have people that he calls sneezers. These are people who, man, they have people all over them. Man, they sneeze and it goes on like 1,000 people. Now, during COVID, that has a little different connotation, but they're people who just have a large network. And the majority of these people have never been celebritized. They've never been put on a platform where someone's looking at them saying, hey, John, hey, Sarah, I really value what you have to say. And I think a lot of people would love to hear from you. Will you hop on this show? Will you hop on a Facebook Live? Will you do this with me? Mark, I would love to. I don't think I've got anything worth saying, but man, I'd love to. And what that does is it almost allows you to be like the kid in high school who is maybe like C popular. You're not rock star. You're not bottom of the barrel. But man, your parents have a really sweet lake house and they're heading out of town. Man, you throw that party, all of a sudden, all the A players show up at your house and you bump up that scale from a C to a B, from a B to an A. It allows you to tap into their network, and it allows you to leverage all of their relationships and be seen as in my case, the realtor, in your case, the loan officer for XYZ individual. And frankly, you're going to be their person from now on. Unless you just really drop the ball and never talk again, you're going to be their go-to because you saw something in them that they did not even see in themselves. So yes, we're 100% doing the show thing.
So let's stop right there, guys. And that's a new takeaway. I don't think we want to call them the sneezers. I mean, I think even Seth in COVID times would have thought of another name. They just sneeze and they get everybody. But I love that because I have been advocating that you identify the influencers. So someone that is already playing at that high game, but you invite them, they come. So I hadn't thought of, you're going kind of pre-influencer, the potential
definitely, man.
influencer. So I didn't get that out of our prep call. 2, I hadn't heard that before. So if anybody's listening and you're like, Dave, you're behind, that's a takeaway for me. He's identifying in his local market the up and coming potential influencers. I'm still going to push you, mortgage coach community. Go after the influencers too, the people that are the rock stars. They have the biggest following. They have the most engagement. You want to interview them, but we got another category of folks that we want to interview. So walk us through. You're an agent. Tell us some stories. Like, tell us who are some of these sneezers, and how have you taken that conversation and turned it into value?
Yep. So it's a few different things. We are leveraging video for a number of different conversations. Number one is I'm looking for someone who has nothing to do with real estate, that they are respected in my community, they have influence, and they are going to direct a number of people's emotions, be it positive or negative, for our community. And so I want to get them in, and I want to talk about, in my context, this greater Gwinnett County, what's going on, what's moving, what's shaking, and I want to be affiliated with them. But then on another hand, I want to be talking about real estate, because I don't want to just be Mark McMinn is Gwinnett County. I want to be Mark McMinn is the real estate guy. He's bringing, so I want to juggle both of those, but in both ends, like if you're saying, Mark, how do I find that person? What you can do, hop over to Instagram, put hashtag whatever you're chasing after. Like, again, my context, Gwinnett County, hashtag Gwinnett, hashtag Gwinnett County. And it will tell you what are the top posts that are being most engaged with at that specific time. Then you message that person and say, hey, John, I'm Mark McMinn. I host a show talking about Gwinnett County, and it's really obvious you carry influence. Man, I would love to catch 15 or 20 minutes of your time. And actually, I'd love to send you a gift card in the mail just as a way of saying thanks, which you should do, and get them on and then leverage that. Whenever someone comments, you're the one following up. Yes, Bill is awesome. Oh, Sally, thank you so much. And that's how you get that ball rolling. You leverage those relationships when they come on, allow them to talk, bring an agenda, be prepared, but allow them to take the floor. And then your entire point is you're leveraging their SOI who is going to follow that feed. And I'll tell you, behind the scenes, I tell them, I expect you to share this, and I expect you to have 3 people of influence in your network to share this. And we actually agree upon those individuals ahead of time. So I'm making sure all of these little ducks are getting in a row so that we maximize that, because I know the algorithm on social is going to push that the more people are naturally pushing it.
So I love that. For anybody who doesn't know what SOI is, I assume it's spheres of influence.
Correct.
Did we get that right? So think about this. Not only do you have everything that you've learned from Mortgage Coach, and remember, we've got a great article on LinkedIn that walks you through what I think some of the best practices are, and not just what I think, what Craig Sewing thinks the best practices are of doing interviews. This is a living, breathing document. So I can tell you right now, I'm going to be adding Mark's name to this document. I'm going to be adding another strategy, another tactic to this on how to do awesome interviews. Again, that's assuming you want to be a mortgage rock star.
That's right.
In the community that you serve. Now, Mark is clearly going after a geo community.
Yep.
You may be listening to this and you just may want to be, you know what? I want to be the I want to be the Google rock star when people type in doctor loans.
Yep.
Or physician loans. Well, you got to compete with Josh Meadow, but that's what he went after. Like if there's a doctor looking for a loan, Josh is the guy on a national level. So you may be looking for a Google influence, or you may be looking for a local influence.
Yeah.
But Mark, I saw you got something to add on.
Yeah. And you're saying something that I don't want to bypass, because I cannot emphasize how important it is. There is a danger and a pitfall to saying, I want to work with everyone. The person who wants to work with everyone works with no one. And what I mean by that is, if you go in my office, my team has a huge whiteboard filled with descriptors of our ideal client. And then we build our content, our interview schedule, all of that around that individual. And so because of that, there's a lot of people I don't interview. There's a lot of people I don't have that conversation with, and a lot that I do who may not even be massive influencers, but they have great things to say in that context. And so I would encourage you, really, really drill that down. Who is your ideal client? Go hyper tight and then allow it to grow beyond that. And there's certainly people that'll fall into it and that kind of thing, but be very specific in who you're chasing. Otherwise, you will quickly become white noise that no one listens to. Be very specific and allow your audience to grow out of that.
Yeah. And I would just add on, like, the script that he gave you when you find someone that you want to do an interview with. Now, I'm only going to debate on one thing. I personally, when I'm trying to get someone to talk to me, hey, I've got a show, I want you to come on it.
Yep.
I'm not going to offer the free gift when I'm just trying to get them to stop, because that makes me look like I'm chasing them. So it works for you. Yep. But I think when you can be specific, like, hey, I'm reaching out to you and I think I've got this show, I want to interview you, and you can be specific about either a market or a category.
Love it.
They're going to want to do it, guys. And I do personally think, save the free gift certificate for when you're talking to them, you know, like,
yes. Agreed. Fair.
Yeah. So, okay. So I am digging this. So mortgage coach community, if you are doing interviews of local rock stars, or we got to come up with a better name, sneezers, local.
Yeah. Influencers. We'll just go with that for now.
Well, but they're not influencers.
Yeah.
And it's not like they want to be, because they don't even know. It's just they're
just networked, man. Like
potential influencers. Mm-hmm. I want to know what you're doing. I want to interview you. We want to bring this into the community. Every Friday at 9:00, we're doing a mastermind. I can tell already, Mark, if you're willing, we're going to invite you back for
anything
some
you
masterminding.
need.
So also, you need to, have you ever followed the American Dream and what Craig Sewing is doing? American Dream TV?
I have gone and checked that out a few times. I really need to dig in more there. You and I talked about that a little bit. I really need to dig in more there.
Yeah, I'll introduce you to Craig. You need to check it out.
I'd love
it. I don't think he has a big presence in Atlanta, so it could be a real opportunity for you to be on the ground floor there. So stay tuned on that. So let's think of some others. Well, here's what I want to do. Another thing that I've been advocating our community loan officers to do is to partner with agents and do a Facebook Live for your local community and for your agents. So let me show you a strategy that's kind of big in our community right now.
Bring it.
And tell me if you would like to, and again, maybe you'll get a bunch of calls from realtors, but here's a strategy that I have been partnering with. And I got this from a top loan officer in Chandler, Arizona, outside of Phoenix. Actually, I'm sure our mutual buddy knows Amber. She did like 45 loans last month. So she's a baller. She's killing it. And what she's doing is she's starting to, every time she refinances someone, she's saying, hey, how is this house working out for you? And she's saying that, you know, I put a little color on it, and about 20 to 25% of the people are saying, I want a bigger room. I want more rooms. I want a kitchen. I work out of my house now. I need another room. And so what she's doing is she's using our product. This is called the total cost analysis. And she's not just showing them a refi. She's saying, hey, here's your refi. You could be saving $322 a month. But she's saying, hey, you know what? You could do the refi, or you qualify for a 5% down move up. And for this family, they wanted an extra room. They would have had to go into a $525,000 house. And she said, and your payment would go up $507. She said, or you know what you could do? Because you have equity in your home. You could buy your new home, non-contingent, sell your old home, and then take the equity, recast your mortgage. And now your mortgage would go down $164. She said, or what this client decided to do is say, hey, you know what? We would like to be a little more liquid. And we have a financial planner that's getting us about 8 to 10% on our money. What would it be if we took that 125 and invested it with our financial planner? And let's just be conservative, 6%. And guys, this is it. That family, check it out. They went, and just from Amber asking that question, they improved their cash reserves by 50%. They got 60% more net worth in 15 years. And they got the extra room in the school district they want. And then here's the best thing, Mark, that I know you're going to like. Her agent.
I mean, you've already got me.
Yeah, right? Her agent.
Like that's the sexiest slide I've seen in a long time.
You like that?
Dude, I really like that.
So how would you like to have a loan officer where you talk lifestyle, you talk Mark, and then the loan officer just comes in and tells the story, tells the numbers, and says, who wants to do a refi versus a move up analysis? Would you dig that?
Man, I don't know anyone who's even having that conversation, just to be honest, because the refi thing is so wide open right now, and people are getting so bogged down in that conversation. No one I know is bringing that to the table. No one is engaging and pushing that conversation of really asking someone, because ultimately, again, going back to the video thing, that's actually about value. It's what's best for you. Let me remind you of these options and let me show you what they look like. You're bringing value to the realtor and to that individual who's your client. Like I super dig that. That's awesome.
I love that. So mortgage coach community, you just heard it from a top realtor. I'm going to start interviewing at least one agent a month. Who knows? I might start interviewing an agent a week. And I guarantee every time I do it, and I tell them, do you want to partner with a loan officer that can jump on Zoom, can jump on Facebook, can create content that you can then tag the right tags, you can promote. That's another question. Are you promoting your Facebook videos?
We do. I'm going to give you the really, really quick version of our strategy. So up top, we have ads that are targeted, but they are very broad net. What is your home worth? List of homes below median price point, like these various broad nets. So when someone engages with that, then we retarget them with a piece of video content that is specific to their community and specific to their targeting profile. And then after they watch a certain amount of that, it squeezes them into a page asking them for an appointment. And we repeat that behavior 3 levels deep. And so typically we have someone in our web for 4 to 6 months of where they're, again, seeing our face, engaging with our content, and being invited into an appointment.
Love that, guys. So looking to hear more on that. Also, if you are a loan officer who uses Mortgage Coach, so you know how to tell the numbers, comment down below. Maybe Mark will connect with you. Mark, I saw some comments where people were asking for spelling of different names. Do you mind after this call going into our Facebook group?
I would be honored to count it.
Okay, and collaborating there.
Absolutely.
And then Mark, also just an offer, because one of the things I'm doing with our community, not only did I create a playbook on how to do interviews, we actually created a playbook on how to turn refis into listings and move up buyers. And we just walked them through it. Like I took this story from Amber as inspiration, and then we just gave them like step 1, step 2, how to do a 15 to 20 minute Facebook Live where you tell the story, you do it. So if I always show this to you is if you do want to do this with one of your current loan officers, like I would be happy to show them how to do it with Mortgage Coach.
You will be getting a call later. I'm going to go ahead and guarantee you're getting a call later.
All right. So it looks like we got a new Mortgage Coach member for one of Mark's loan officers. We'll do a loan officer makeover.
Done.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So let's see if we've got any more questions in Facebook. And by the way, anything else you want to make sure before we wrap this up that you think is just important to share?
Yeah, man, there's a podcast I listen to. They always ask this really, really great question at the end. In their context, they're talking about real estate and investing. And their question is, what's the one thing that holds most people back? And I'm going to steal that question and put it in our video conversation. What is the one thing that keeps, in my experience coaching other agents, what is the one thing that holds them back? How am I going to look? Do I have the equipment? I want you to know those are all garbage reasons to not be doing this, because there is someone who is, and they are going to smoke you if you are not doing this. This is as much about using the algorithm of social, Facebook, Instagram to constantly have you in people's newsfeed as it is about the content. The content is massively important, but just doing this will allow Facebook and Instagram to naturally, organically push you forward. So I'm telling you, bite the bullet, practice, exercise the muscle, stand in front of the mirror, figure it out. Just do not let this moment bypass you, because this will not be forever. There's going to be a next. And by the time you figure this out, that next is going to be here if you don't get the ball rolling.
I love that. And guys, one of the ways you can exercise the muscle, just like I showed Amber's slides here, is you could be creating videos with the Mortgage Coach platform. So a lot of Amber's TCAs, they have a video on it, guys. And these videos that go on the total cost analysis, this is the same thing you're doing, over the phone, but you're just saying it into a video. So you gotta practice creating video and even little things like text video. That after your next meeting with an agent, pull up your phone, click text, click the camera, and just say thank you. Hey, thanks for taking 15 minutes with me.
Bingo.
Tell them what their last takeaway was. Guys, text video, Mortgage Coach video, Facebook video, YouTube video. And once you've done this 20 or 30 times, it just gets easier. And it is so powerful to grow your brand, grow your business. And here's a guy who went from house hacking. By the way, I've heard that term before, but define house hacking for me.
House hacking is whether it is renting rooms, jumping into a duplex, it's finding ways to leverage a property to the point where you are either paying a portion of the mortgage or none of the mortgage because you have put other things in play. So in my case, it was renting out rooms, but
so Airbnb.
Yeah, exactly. It's that same concept of how do I hack this process where my mortgage, like you'll see it often in someone who's either single or someone who's going through a divorce season, like these really life-altering moments where it's, I have this big mortgage and I got to figure this out. And then all of a sudden they figure out, well, man, this is not so bad. I can do this on repeat. And so the single family becomes the triplex, becomes the 10 unit,
How big is that? Like how many of the homes you sell is a house hack strategy involved?
Well, right now it's 5 to 7%, but that will become a much bigger thing because right now we are preparing to have a pretty significant presence in the investing side. But specifically speaking to my generation, like I'm a very, very first millennial, I'm 33, 34. And so I'm on the front end of that. And so we're listening to guys like Brandon over at Bigger Pockets talk about this and saying, man, I could rent out my basement. Like I can find a way to make this work. I can find ways to leverage what I already have to create generational wealth. Because for me, I want to leave a massive inheritance for my kids. Like that's a big deal for me. And so it's how can I use what I have that actually at times can either really be or definitely feel like a liability and turn it into an asset.
I love that we got to meet each other. I love this interview. Mortgage Coach community. I think this is an interview where you're getting smarter. You're getting an idea. I also think this is content that you could share with your agents to bring ideas. I mean, we got house hacking ideas. We got video ideas. We got interview ideas. You got ideas to do a Facebook Live and share a Mortgage Coach strategy. So dude, we could keep going. I can tell already. I want to remind you guys, if there's another baller agent that you want me to interview that you think aligns with the values of Mortgage Coach, be the best. Use technology. Be purpose-driven. I always talk about being a modern mortgage professional. People think that just means they use tech. No, it means they're a purpose-driven individual. It means they love people and they use technology to connect.
Dang right. Absolutely. Level. Yes.
So dude, we got to do this again.
Boom, baby.
Boom. The guy knows how to do a virtual knuckle. Not a lot of, so I want you guys to take a few more things. This is a man who knows his craft. You notice he notices the camera, his eye contact. He actually, like so many people, it's like knuckle. It's like,
Man, you bring it up there. You get inside,
I mean, he just brought it right down on us. So he is a pro. You notice that his camera he's got a baller camera. He's got a great mic. Super intentional about his background. This guy is a varsity player. I want to remind you guys also, I did an interview with Renee Rodriguez and Ryan Graham, and it was called Wow with Zoom. Ryan Graham is a professional.
He's awesome.
You know Ryan?
Yep, I do. He's awesome.
Oh, is Ryan the man?
Yes, dude. Super highest respect for him. Highest respect.
Yeah. So I I didn't even know you knew him, but check out that interview, guys. Ryan will, in that interview, we just talk about lighting, cameras, mics. And Ryan also has a service that if you want to upgrade your virtual office, which is really a virtual studio right now, Ryan has some consulting services. So check that out, guys. All right, brother. I'm looking forward to our next time on stage together. And can't wait to keep it going, man.
We'll talk soon.